All right.
All right. Welcome to Mario Kart 64. My name's Brody. I am currently world ranked 9th overall in shortcut time trials, and this is Weatherton, the godfather of Mario Kart 64 tasks for the last 20 years.
And we're all very fortunate to have Kazn here running this, world record holder this year. Not currently, but I don't doubt he'll take it back. He unseated Abney after 7 years. Go check out the Summoning Salt video of the quest to beat Abney, and that was Kazuya. We also have some great folks on the couch back here with Jed and Kanan, and then my family is here. Excited to have them here. It's always exciting to be on AGDQ with all of you. Really going to be excited to hit that $1.5 million mark during this run. And Kazn, we'll give you the countdown here when you're ready. All right. He's going to pick his character. All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! So what we see is the first track of Luigi Raceway, known as Luigi Circuit on the Japanese version of the game. Kazuya is playing as Peach, because Peach, Yoshi, and Toad are the fastest characters in the game, so they're the most optimal to use for skips runs. Now, Toad is a little bit lighter than the other two, so you'll get bunked around a little bit more.
Which is, it can be desirable if you're trying to jump off computers. For tasks, not so much for RTA.
So Kazuya's got red shells, which means he can do this shortcut you can only do on the Japanese version of the game, which you will launch over this wall, and on the Japanese version only, that this wall behind Luigi Raceway finish line is solid. On the US version and PAL versions, you will just fall right through. But on the Japanese version, you will get picked up on top, and as long as you do the little twirl around the line you did at the beginning, it will work for a very fast 3-lap.
Yeah, so on the US and PAL versions, you would still fall down into the tunnel and cut half the course. But in this, Lakitu's getting confused about where to put you down. You had to wait for those computer players to get by him, because you don't want that red shell to hit them.
And he's made 3 for 3.
Awesome. Great start to the run.
Can use the star there to get a little bit more speed, and that is a very good Luigi Raceway with that red shells.
All right, so as already mentioned by Brody, we're playing the Japanese version. It's not because Kazuya wants to have the Japanese version and can read it better than us. It's because there's actual game differences in terms of Lakitu logic.
And we're going to see that later in the run as well.
We'll see a few more things, yeah, that require that.
So this next track is Moo Moo Farm. This does not have any viable shortcuts to use in this run. It has one element, though, that really throws a lot of people off, and that's on the inside of the track in 3 certain points. There are these mole patches that are completely random. They will jump out at you no matter what you do, and they're a real pain in time trials, but in Grand Prix, for these runs, you are able to take this path that Kazuya's taking right now to go through the moles. That's very low risk, and you don't really have to deal with them. If you get a star or a boo, you can easily plow right through them, though, and take the lead from anyone else who might be ahead of you.
So on a course with no viable RTA shortcuts, probably a good time to mention some of the shortcut development over the last 20 years, as you mentioned. So none of the shortcuts that were around in the first few years of the game are the fastest anymore. That started back in 2014 with one of the shortcuts I found on Chucka Mountain, but it continued very much during the pandemic. So starting in 2020, this guy Forrest came out of nowhere and joined the community and started really pushing the logic and understanding of the game. And thanks in large part because of Forrest, we've got a whole bunch of new shortcuts. I had the privilege of being involved in and finding some myself, but some of them are in this run.
And a 111 on Moo Moo Farm, very solid there, and got that stream at the end, so some more solid RNG there for Kazuya. And the next track we have coming up is Kubatura Beach, which also doesn't have a big shortcut. It does have a shortcut where you can go on a ramp through the cave, but we don't consider that shortcut in the community because it was intended. We just count that as non-shortcut. So while we do have some very weird 2-player shortcut you can do here, the only viable thing here is to just go fast.
And take that ramp. Now the ramp, especially if your nerves are high, I mean, I would miss that ramp all 3 laps if I was running this right now, for sure. There's backup strategies. If you do miss the ramp, you can jump back up. We'll see if that happens. Hopefully we, if the ramp mishappens, that's the exciting thing you can wait for here. But he made that one smooth.
Makes the first one cleanly.
Yeah, so probably a good time to talk about item probabilities here. So in this game, the items you get are all based on what place you're in. So you can see what place you're in on the screen. Note that lags a little bit, behind what's actually happening in the game. And in fact, we might see an item glitch here on the next lap. We'll see. There's an opportunity to make the game think you're in 8th place and give you an 8th place item.
So that's why you're going to see, because you drive off to the right side of the finish line, there's a little part you can go in and hit the items
another good jump there.
beforehand.
Yeah, so let's see if he goes over to the ramp here. Yeah, he's going wide. Why would he go out here? The item block here, he can manipulate it to go.
Now he's got an 8th place item.
Right.
Unfortunately, it was not a speed item. You're looking for stars or golden mushroom, but it's still worth the try.
Yeah, that's completely luck. There's nothing you can do, RTA, to decide what item you actually get, other than just what place you're in when you get the item. So, oh, but he got a mushroom.
And he goes 3 for 3 cleanly through the tunnel, and he's got a nice mushroom to use at the end here, and he's going to go into the wet sand here because the wet sand is a bit faster than the dry sand.
Yeah.
And very solid creature to each for Kazuya.
All 3 through the tunnel. I mean, nerves of steel on Kazn here. The fact that he was able to just continue to, I think he did tens of thousands of runs over the last several years to ultimately unseat Abney. Just tons of grit and tenacity.
1,000 away.
So coming up next is Calamari Desert. This is a very RNG heavy course. Luckily, there are a ton of different things you can do here, depending on what we get. But what we're looking for here is triple reds and then a star.
And there's all different fallbacks depending on what he actually gets. But notice he's driving backwards. He wants to be not in first place.
So he's got a star. So this is not the most ideal, but it can still work. So we're going to go into the tunnel here. And there's actually this developer-intended Easter egg.
Yeah, we know it's developer-intended because there's a Shigeru Miyamoto interview where he talks about this particular shortcut.
So we're going to go into the tunnel where Black tells us to reverse. We're going to star, and the finish line gets activated from inside the tunnel to skip a lap. And we're already about a third of the way anyways, and we're just getting great speed with that star. So this second lap, and he's got a red shell, so a red shell can be used as a backup in first place. It's only, I believe, a 5% in first place, but he can go into the tunnel again and do another sort of skip, which he would have done if he had triple red shells.
Yeah, getting a single red in first is only 5% probability. There's nothing with lower probability than that. So it's, fortunately, he got a red shell. Unfortunate that he's got to hit it the first try here.
So he's going to turn in here and go to the other side of the tunnel, which will bring us to this fence here. Now, there's actually a crazy shortcut you can do here called the fence clip.
Oh, okay.
And he did miss the red there, but it's still going to be there, luckily. So now he just has to slowly run into it, launch over, and he's at the end of the race, just like that. And reset in the console.
Yeah, first reset. The reset on this console is a little sticky, actually, so he missed it the first time. I don't blame him.
So already one cup done just like that, and now we're on to the Flower Cup with another Japanese difference. So the first race of the Flower Cup is Toad's Turnpike, and back in 2020 with the Forest Shortcut Revolution, we figured out that the Japanese 1.0 version of the game works a lot differently on this track than the other versions, which we're going to see here.
Yeah, so the only thing we knew is that the normal shortcut that we had.
We've reached 1.5 million!
That's great.
So now Kazuya drives off. Now this is what's different between this and the Japanese 1.0 version. Kazuya drove off to the right side, but if he can cross back over the line and get stuck out of bounds just like that, he will be a lap ahead. This only works on the Japanese 1.0 version of the game, no other versions, but this was an immense discovery when it happened, because before we were driving around a lot of this track, and he hits the backup. He saw the truck, but he hit the backup, so he just got to hit it one more time here, and that looked good. And as long as he gets placed on the line, it's going to be a very fast course, and that's great.
So awesome hitting 1.5 million during this run. That's a fantastic thing to happen. Hope we've got a lot of folks enjoying this with Kazn putting on the greatest show here.
So coming up next is Frap Snowland, and Frap Snowland has a shortcut that is mostly remained unchanged. We've definitely made some tweaks to it in time trials. But since the beginning of this game's release, we've pretty much been doing the exact same thing here in speed runs like this. And it's something you probably know of. This is one of the most well-known shortcuts. It's just going to be executed very, very quickly by Kazuya. Top runners are able to finish this course in under 20 seconds in time trial mode.
Yeah, what's happening here, there's areas on the outside of the prior course and this course that they're not actually defined in terms of what section you're entering. We call it an FF section, so that really messes with the game logic.
And that was a great FS.
Really fast.
Sub 26.
Yeah, okay.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, great job, Kazn. Yeah, those FF sections are actually we weren't sure how they worked quite a while ago. And then Micro 500 really dug into the game and figured out what's going on there and made a nice Twitch VOD on that ultimately Forrest found and was inspired to come up with a lot of the new shortcuts that we've now got.
So now we're on Choco Mountain. This is the course, of course, of the famous Weatherton, discovered in part by Weatherton right next to me.
Hey,
and this track can be a bit frustrating in times because of these jumps here. And that was a great, smooth jump. And sometimes, though, you go more of the distance in a frame, in a single frame, and you will tumble, and there's nothing you can do about it. So there's a little bit of luck involved in this.
Yeah,
but
there's like we call them 0 frame jumps. So there's times where you nailed that R button press, but just the synchronization of when the frame arrived that you hit the wall, you still just don't have a chance. Oh,
and the banana is just an unfortunate place banana there. Nothing you can do. But there's a backup here going against this gray wall. This was one of the original shortcuts found by the original grandfather of shortcuts, David Wan, called the gray wall jump.
He's getting 0 frame there, yeah, when you tumble like that. Yep, he made it up.
So you made it up cleanly like that. It's one of the oldest shortcuts that is documented in emails from the late 90s. And now he's on to the final lap. And he's got a clear path ahead of him. Doesn't really have to watch out for anything else, just hopes to get that jump cleanly. As Kazoo refers to it, he refers to it as Choco's Stupid Mountain due to the tumbles and RNG here. And
you're either in love with the Choco or you're not in love with the Choco.
As VAJ would say, I'm in love with the Choco. So he's in the boon. He makes up second try. That was very clean there.
Yeah, great job.
And he's going to get to the hills at the end. And just like that, right. Choco Mountain is finished.
Yeah, getting over every lap, I mean, it's not something you can count on, especially in a marathon.
That's why it's very important to learn that backup with the gray wall. The gray wall jump actually gets progressively easier the further you go down it. So he was doing it pretty aggressively at the beginning, but if you go all the way down towards the water, then the gray wall jump tends to be a lot easier.
Oh, pro tip too, if you're stopped in this game, you want to start going faster, hit A 3 times, triple tap A, and you'll rev your engine up. So he was doing that to speed up.
So right here we're looking for triple reds, and he got triple reds, so
okay.
Now he's going to use the triple reds. He's going to target himself here and launch over the wall. Oh, and he went a little bit short there.
All right, he's going to get 2 more laps or shots at it. So he's going to have to drive around most likely for one of the laps. But the red shell is trying to go back to the center of the course. There's the center line on the course, and it wants to go to that center line and then seek the next closest player. So that's why it's going back and hitting him. He's actually got to be very careful.
And that was clean there. Used a shock in midair and a quick lap there, sub 10. Unfortunately, since he did miss the first one, he has to drive around. But whenever you're that far ahead, you know. Oh, and a nice DK snipe there, too.
Yeah, he's only going to, lap him once, maybe twice? I don't know.
Probably.
Whoops. This is a really short course. If you're playing this in versus mode, this thing's like it's over before you realize.
And there's so much offered on here, too. If you get a star or your friend gets golden mushroom, it is toast. The race is over.
So much grab.
That's the end of the Flower Cup.
All right, great job. All right, halfway through.
So now we're on to the Star Cup on the Wario Stadium, and this is a shortcut that probably a lot of you know. It's actually in the manual of Mario Kart 64. The developers must have caught it and didn't figure it out.
Or the player's guide?
I believe it's in the manual.
Man, all right, I'm going to have to check that out.
And a lot of you are probably familiar with this short wall. It's very easy to jump over that, but you can actually get over on this side too. It's significantly harder to get over, and he's going to get 0 framed a bunch, which is out of his control completely.
Yeah, back up, triple tap, hit R.
And he's got it there. There's the first lap. And we actually figured out this thing to do that is known a while back, but wasn't really perfected until Weatherton and Forrest did a couple years ago, known as the delayed hover, where if you go over the final hump, and that was clean.
Oh, wow.
Great job.
Those were so good.
So the delayed hover here works as if you go over the final hump here on Wario Stadium, we can actually get an activation from the other side of the line, shroom over, and make it over the wall. And in time trials, the world record is less than a second for a lap by doing that delayed hover method.
It's another one of those undefined polygons. Same here too. I don't think he'll go for the shortcut here, but
so interestingly enough, with Cherryland is this course did not have a shortcut for the longest time until Forrest again and Weatherton in 2020 decided to work on it. Originally, what was found was just the cave skip, which only allowed you to skip the cave, which only saved a couple of seconds. But as time went on, Weatherton started to work on more, and eventually we got our time down to a sub 1 second lap here. And it's very difficult to do, and it's not necessarily consistent. So it's not worth going for in Grand Prix mode unless you're just screwing around or you're very much behind. So we're going to see this course non-shortcut, although if you're curious to see what the shortcut looks like, the 3-lap record on mkwrs.com and the flat record are very, very good pieces of history from what we found in 2020.
Shout-outs to that website for all the Mario Kart games. They've got rich history of all the different times and records and videos.
Shout out to Cole for maintaining that site for all these years. He's put up with a lot, so...
And then MarioKart64.com. That's if you want to go race this in time trials. Kazn's well ranked there. Number 9 shortcut player here, Brody, on the Mario Kart 64 ranks. There's Mario Kart Wii. There's Double Dash. It's all there. Take a look.
And so far, he's had a very clean SO. Nothing too exciting here. And you'll notice here he's doing these things called crack jumps, which you can't be too aggressive on, but you can save a significant amount each corner by taking those cracks. But you don't want to go too aggressively. We see a lot of people that will fail runs for that, especially in time trials.
Because if you fall in on a speed run, you actually turn to ice, and it adds a couple extra seconds of loss. Funny thing is that was required for the shortcut to work. Since we're not doing the shortcut, it won't go too far into it. But
and with the swag finish.
Swag end.
So coming up next track is Royal Raceway, which this one plagues Skip's runners with how inconsistent. It seems like for whatever reason, triple red shells are a 20% chance when you are in anything but first place. I believe so. Either that or it's 4th through 8th. But
well, this one was one of the first applications of what Micro 500 was describing with the undefined sections. Forrest came along and he's like, wait, I could use red shells to jump on top of this wall.
But for whatever, a little mistake, but it's okay because he's got plenty of time. But it seems like for whatever reason when runners play this track, red shells just don't seem to come in. It's a 1 in 5 chance to pull a red shell in the position that he's in, but it just seems like you could go through hundreds of items without pulling a red shell. So let's see what he gets, and he gets the shot.
You'd ideally have triple reds and
the golden. So
blue shell.
The golden is very unfortunate to pull because you have to wait 10 seconds for that to run out, and this is completely RNG based, so it can be frustrating to runners to get it. And another gold. So
okay. No golds, no golds.
You do not want a gold shroom.
No whammies.
Bad shroom.
A star, he could go tumble and get rid of it, but the gold, you're just enjoying the show. All right,
he's finally got triple reds. There we go. So Kazuya actually does these a lot more aggressively than other runners that I've seen. He's very good at what he does, but he is very aggressive like this and just barely misses that red shell though. It's not easy to do.
He's got 2 more. It's similar to the Mario Raceway where he's kind of got to wait for some folks to go by. I guess that happened on Luigi Raceway. But he's got 2 more chances. He's going to have to do 1 lap.
And good one.
That on top, they didn't bother defining the top section there, that floor. It's actually defined the same as walls. And so the game, basically we're taking advantage of that to trick the game into putting us behind the line and counting a lap.
And he's, that's very rare to happen where you ricochet off the top. So now he's going to use a star and he's going to go for the backup, which we used to do in time trials before we found something a couple months ago that works. And we're going to go here, land there, and it's going to place it on top of the ramp, and then we're going to launch off to the left side, which in 150cc, as long as you hit anywhere, you're pretty much guaranteed to get it to work. So this will work. In time trials, it's a lot more precise, but if you hit anywhere in 150cc, you'll see this, and we're going to get placed just before the line right here. And I assume he's just going to go pull it off again. So not as fast as the red shells, but it is
unless he happened to have gotten a red shell there. So he jumping across the moat. That moat on the other side is tied to a section that's close to the ramp. And so when Lakitu's trying to put you up, and you got to see it say "poomp" there. If it says that, then it means you hit the right part of that wall. If it doesn't say that, you actually are going to put back where you landed.
So is he going to make it? He just barely makes it through there. So that's still going to work because it works anywhere in 150cc, luckily. Time trials, it's very tough to actually hit the right spot. And he's just going to cut through the grass.
I want to see a swag end. Come on.
Swag finish, and he gets the swag finish. Right. Good recovery. Good recovery.
Hey, team, while we have a moment here, can I step in?
Absolutely.
We have met the incentive to upgrade to all stages for Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels. Let's go!
Awesome. Yes.
And I'd also like to bring you a little bit more good news. We are adding an extra game here. This is Trepang 2, any % unrestricted by Blood Thunder. That is going to be coming up right after Lies of P before the checkpoint. Thank you for making it such a great marathon so far. Let's keep it up.
All right, so now we're on to Bowser's Castle, the final track of the Star Cup, and this also did not have a time trial shortcut for the longest time until 2021. Of course, Forest found that you could actually clip the staircase that leads out of the castle. So I'll point that out when it comes by. It's very hard to do. Only a few people have ever hit it. That's those stairs right there. If you can use a shroom to clip through the top staircase and land in the courtyard, but it is very tough. It took the shortcut world champion 60 hours just to hit it once.
Shout outs to Bismuth. If you want to check out some of his videos that describe how to drive through walls in Mario Kart 64, Forrest and I collaborated with him on that, and Micro 500 on that as well. And I think we did another video on other Mario Kart 64 topic. Check out his channel.
Is another thing.
Oh, pausing breaks Mario Kart. That's how you can do Moo Moo Farm shortcuts if you're willing to pause. Which in this particular community, the decision was made to not allow pausing.
And that's a great section there to avoid those bananas.
This is an interesting course because people can get a PR on this and not come in first on Bowser Castle. They could get an overall skips PR. I think we decided to allow that.
Yes, now you just have to finish in the top 4 on Bowser Castle because the CPUs seem to extra rubber band you here in your task that you made.
Yeah,
Bowser rubber bands you. It's just this insane rubber banding.
Yeah, basically the first course was non-shortcut. There's a shortcut task only to jump on the bridge and kind of do these lap skips. But until that point, Bowser was just on screen. Perfect driving. I couldn't shake him because they just drive through the walls themselves. They don't mini turbo. They just drive like faster than you and 90-degree turns.
And another thing on BC, which is where he's at now in the courtyard, sometimes you'll be racing and you will see a computer just fly in front of you because if they're not on screen, computers can actually just drive through whatever walls they want. So if there's a banana there,
right,
or they might have been hit by another computer, they can slip through the wall and skip time. And that was a great BC. Phenomenal driving. Now we just have one cup to go. This is a surprisingly short speed run, but we have the hardest cup now, the special cup, and this is where we really get into the nitty-gritty of
it's funny because the rules just happened to be at the very start. They were written, hey, start on Mushroom Cup and end on Special, and that leaves the hardest cup for last. Depending on your Mushroom, could be hardest as well.
So we're seeing a lot of lag here because DK Jungle Parkway is such a huge course that the N64 can't actually process it that well, so it lags a lot. Now, if you're playing on the Wii Virtual Console, Wii U Virtual Console, or the Switch Online versions, you will not experience that lag at the beginning of the course, but it'll happen every single time that you play it, just because this course is so big to handle, and it's always
big and to be honest, inefficiently coded. I think it was added very late in the game because there was supposed to be Kamek was supposed to be the driver. They got the DK model from Rare. They added this course, I think, very late, and they load those trees. I think like Dead Hamster is
and he finishes inside the course here, so you can go in and out of the course for shortcut, but he finishes in, which saves you having it respawn. That's a great DK Jungle Parkway.
Great job. Yeah, that particular cut's been known about for a long time. But he did it well there, especially in the last lap. So that Dead Hamster, came up with a bunch of custom courses. He looked into this course. Hey, why does this thing load so slowly or run so slowly? He said that the textures were loaded like 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
I don't even, so clearly an error.
So now in Yoshi Valley, this is very RNG reliant. There is a backup you can go for, but, he's going to YOLO it.
Whoa.
And he missed a YOLO, but you can do this thing that we refer to in the community as YOLO Valley, where you just completely go for it that we see in time trials, but he's going to try to pull triple shrooms, and he's not going to go for it. He's actually going to do the right side skip.
When you're going to the very far right here, this is something Beck Abney figured out, actually. Go over here, and it messes with your the sections, and it's the same kind of idea with...
you jump off here, and you get a lap count. Yeah. And you're going to get placed down backwards about halfway into the course, like this. We don't know why we placed down backwards. You got to watch out for incoming CPUs like that. But he's going to take this, is called the hairpin jump, which is a lot harder in 150cc because of your speed, but it's allowed for non-shortcut in time trials. So
I like to think the game puts you backwards because it's taking it personally at this point. What are you doing?
So now it looks like he's going to go for it. He has a spin. You can do this with a star. So let's see if he hits it. The big laps. And it looks like he's going to hit it. And he bounces to the left, so he's got it. Great lap 3 here. And he's just going to get placed on the line, and the race is over. Just like that.
Great job. So the way that works is that wall is just far enough away from the finish line so that when you hit the wall, the finish line's been deactivated. And if you hit the right part of it, it throws you backwards. So the game's like, oh shoot, you're like behind the line. And then it puts you down where you jump from, which is in front of the line. So it's like, all right, you were from behind the line, now you're in front of the line. The finish line wasn't activated when you went backward. you're good.
And it's just barely, too, because it needs to be at least 1,000 units away, and that is barely over 1,000.
Just barely, yeah.
So now we have Banshee Boardwalk, and just this is good driving. There is a couple of shortcuts you can do if you're really feeling risky, if you want to do CPU jump sweep, which is where you launch off of a heavyweight computer for lap skips, but it's not viable to go for at all. Usually people will just do it for screwing around. So this is just completely non-shortcut. Very technical course, and he's just breezing right through it.
A couple of fun things about that house we just drove through. So for one thing, if you shoot a blue shell in there, it loses its mind. It spins around in circles, and it's like horrifying even if you shoot your own.
Yes.
And the other thing is that house used to, we have found geometry for a beta version of this course. I think Dead Hamster found it.
Yes.
And there used to be an additional wall at the very end that was just like, you would slam into it and have to basically turn around.
And there used to be a roof as well, I believe.
There was
the old beta.
There still is a roof if you watch the credits. So maybe with a keen
interesting.
eye during the credits after we get to those, you can see the roof. But yeah, I don't even know if you can see it, but it's there. But yeah, imagine having to like slam into a wall. I think you literally optimally might run into the wall if it were there, and you actually had to run the beta version of the course. So it used to be for a little while that there was a strategy where you actually wanted to finish in second or third here because you wanted a heavyweight character in front of you for Rainbow Road, and you jump off that character. That's no longer something people do because of some new turn around and jump over the wall sort of strats we'll talk about.
Because that red shell skip on Rainbow Road, that was found by a completely random person, wasn't it?
Yeah. So,
great Banshee Boardwalk. Yeah, great driving. Look, very consistent
33,
laps.
33, 33.
So that just shows how good of a driver he really is.
All of them within 0.13 seconds. Sorry.
0.08.
0.08? I might have gotten it wrong. I don't know.
So now we're on to the final course already, Rainbow Road. This is someone completely random found this red shell skip. And he's hoping for red shells here. You need red shells to get this done. There is a green shell backup that was used for a long time. But here we are looking for red shells. So hope we get that RNG.
Right. Red shells.
Oh, the golden.
Not
red
gold.
shells.
Come on, I don't think enough of you were saying red shells with us. Somebody was saying gold shroom.
There was actually a video made by Shortcut World Champion Beck Adamy that he went through 60 plus items without getting a single red shell.
Let's not mention that, all right? We really need those red shells. If he gets some greens at some point, he might go ahead and take those. I'm not sure. Well, he won't get greens
until the computers pass him. Yes.
We don't want to get to the point.
Oh, we got the star cancellation, and he's got red shells.
Right,
Let's go.
All right. So the key here is it's like Yoshi Valley. You get far enough away from this finish line, and it deactivates. And the cool thing that this person found is that
when you have one of those, but it's okay.
All right, we got two more here. The cool thing he found is that if you jump over the line,
It's the second one as well.
Okay, I'm gonna go quiet here.
Great clutch, nice.
All right, he's actually gonna reverse. He's gonna press down and B to reverse back under the line after the finish line is deactivated, and then you'll see it say first. Oh, not first, I don't know what he'll say actually.
Once he gets placed down, it'll say it. Your position doesn't update until you get placed down. So now he's gonna try to get some green shells most likely because it's the end of the first lap. So we're looking for some greens, hopefully.
Now that he's at first,
so red shell can work, and he's got this can work. This can work. So he can position himself here to throw a red shell, and as long as he hits this, he can go turn around and get another one. And he missed that one as well.
So he's probably gonna get most likely a green shell here because the red shell is only 5% chance in first.
Go past Yoshi, hit into him, and banana bunch.
Well, he might get red shells again because now he's in
another banana bunch. And there's the triple. Okay, this is good here.
But he's going to have to wait. He's not going to pull him out, I don't think, till he's in 8th.
Because he doesn't want any CPUs to hit by him. It's very frustrating because the CPUs seem to always... And now he's got 6, so he's pretty much in a great position here.
We got it. Oh, he's just going for it. All right.
He's got nice.
All right.
So now he's going to reverse. As soon as you see Peach on the blue right now, so as soon as it flicks over to the right side, that's when he's going to reverse back over the line. And he's going to get placed, and he's going to try one last time.
All right, he's got 3 tries. I don't think, he wasn't going to shoot all 3 that time.
So he's got that. He made it over, so...
All right, it's going to be time when he crosses the line after he gets put back.
Yes, so he's going to reverse again, and he's going to get placed on the line, or maybe slightly before, depends on when he exited. And he's going to get placed right before, and time.
All right.
Great run.
Great.
Great run, showing off all these shortcuts.
Yeah, and so Kazn primarily speaks Japanese. He's been rehearsing in English, a couple of words he wants to say, so Kazn would like to say a few words.
Speech.
Go ahead. Yep.
I am very happy to participate in such a wonderful event for the first time. This GDQ is my first time attending an in-person speedrun event. I have participated remotely in Japan before, but I ever participated in-person event. Therefore, running at this GDQ will be an unforgettable memory for me. I would like to thank the GDQ, organizer, operator, staff, as well as my commentator, Weatherton, who really united for the first time in 4.5 years. Brody and Kanana, who is a viewer of the my stream. I believe all these years of seriously aiming to get a world record in Mario Kart 64 has led me to run at this event today. That's all. Thanks.
And you want to let the credits roll out?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and play the credits, Kazuya.
Do you want to
play the credits?
So we can maybe see the Banshee Boardwalk.
So these credits are very having a emotional feel to them. So we have to go through this cutscene here of the trophy presentation, but then afterwards we're gonna go right to the credits.
It's actually the best music in the game, which
absolutely
I will say is not saying much in my opinion, but personally, but having heard it maybe too many times. But the credit music is really good.
It makes you feel very accomplished.
Yeah, and just to build on Kazn, Kana has been translating for him here today, and she is a viewer of his Twitch channel and met him for the first time this morning, and has been extremely helpful and friendly. It's great to meet her, and great to watch you on Twitch, Kazn, and just a pleasure to see your progression over the last few years. As he mentioned, he's been playing for a few years. I met him early on in that. He came to an event at my parents' house in Virginia, and it's great to see him there. And then the progression since this to be world champion at some point this year. Not currently, but I have no doubt he's working his way back to it.
He's put over, I believe he just hit around, last time I checked was about 60,000 attempts, but it's much, much more than that. So he gets first place, and now we're going to cue the credits, so we're just going to be quiet and enjoy it.
Okay. All right. So I don't think we're going to be able to watch the whole credits, but these are great credits. Definitely highly recommend it, and keep an eye out for maybe if you can, the Bat House and the Banshee Boardwalk. So, okay.
So that was a great run. Thanks to Kazuya. Give it up for Kazuya, guys.
Yeah.
All the way in from Japan, flew out here just so we could play some Mario Kart for you guys. He was very excited to come here. He's been practicing for years. I want to thank Weatherton, of course, for being a great co-commentator with me. First time meeting him ever. Great event that everyone's doing here, and a great run by Kazuya.
Yeah, great meeting you, Brody, and the rest of the folks here. I mean, these events are always so well managed. It's great to be a part of them. And then all the money being raised for Prevent Cancer Foundation, it's a great cause. It's a great impact, and just a pleasure to be a part of it.
So interesting things about these credits is there is some shots that you will not see anywhere else in the game. It's like Warrior Stadium getting that bird's eye view. You won't see that anywhere else in the game. There's a lot of these places in the credits to go, and it's just a very emotional for this. The bird's eye view of Royal Raceway is a great shot of everything, but just gives you that sense of accomplishment, like, yes, it's over, you beat the Special Cup. This has the best credits music of any Mario Kart.
I've been working at this for 25 minutes, so I feel so,
absolutely
accomplished so much. So.
And interesting enough that the egg does not move in the credits, but it will spin. If you're off screen, the egg won't actually move. There's a spot near the finish line where you can sit, and the egg will not move. So only when it's on screen.
Beta version of that course, the egg's up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
So you can't drive straight through, but also you don't get run over by the egg.
Absolutely. All right. Well, that wraps it up for Mario Kart 64. Give it up one more time.